My name is Chelsea Botchke. Here in a few minutes, I am going to hand over the mic to one of my colleagues, Devin White. He joined us on our last webinar. He's going to go through more of a technical demo. I'm going to just get us going. I don't like to talk for a super long time if I don't have to, because this isn't college and nobody wants to sit through an hour-long presentation. So, a tale as old as time. Which protocol to use? WebRTC, SIP, PSTN. Ultimately, which protocol you end up using and choosing for your project is entirely up to your use case, your specific needs, what you want to accomplish at the end of the day. SignalWire supports a comprehensive set of communication protocols that build and integrate with voice, video, and messaging across a variety of platforms. Since we only have 1 hour today together, we are going to focus on the WebRTC for this session. So currently, we are seeing businesses tend to either over-engineer communications using raw tools like FreeSwitch, which take decades of experience to master, or they're overspending on monolithic UCaaS and CCaaS solutions. But we don't feel that those are the only two options that you have. WebRTC enables real-time browser-based communication, which is why it's becoming a very popular option. Because raw WebRTC lacks call logic, session management, PSTN, bridging, AI, and a whole slew of other things, you do still need to build everything around it. And what you should really be asking yourself when you're choosing whether WebRTC, SIP, or PSTN is which VoIP stack should you be using. Call signaling is essential, and yet WebRTC standards leave it out entirely, but this is on purpose. So now you as the dev can choose your own path. And this is where SignalWire comes in. So we are, I want to introduce a few terms to you guys, and that's going to be the next couple of slides. But Call Fabric is what SignalWire's infrastructure layer is. That's what we reference it as. And this is our implementation of the programmable unified communications model. It connects WebRTC, PSTN, SIP, mobile apps, virtual agents, a whole bunch of other things through unified scripting and control model. When you start building with SignalWire, WebRTC becomes just another addressable endpoint. It works together with video rooms, SIP endpoints, AI agents, all kinds of other resources. This allows for hybrid scenarios like browser to phone, browser to SIP, on and on. So what is a resource? I'm so glad you asked. Resources are an important part of SignalWire. They're basically the building blocks, like Lego pieces, that you're using to connect together, to make calls, send messages, run a video conference. And what that means, instead of dealing with a bunch of separate tools, you can connect all of these resources using APIs, scripts, or SDKs. And this lets you build flexible, intelligent communication flows. SignalWire is going to handle the WebRTC as a native resource, same as it would SIP or PSTN endpoints. We'll get into that a little bit more. And Swiml will be another word that you hear from myself, from Devin as he gets into the demos. If you are not familiar with Swiml, we are talking about our SignalWire markup language, which is used to script how calls behave. You can use WebRTC direct or for direct browser-based access, but you're going to control the flows with Swiml for consistency. We'll get into some examples. So all of these things are great, right? Call Fabric, resources, and Swiml. But when you combine them all, what you're really creating is a powerhouse for your use case. So for instance, let's take a typical contact center scenario. The customer calls in via a browser, maybe a traditional phone call, maybe a click-to-call button within an app. WebRTC is going to be the choice for this example for the call signaling. But where this call goes can be controlled via SignalWire. So we can use different resources to assign the address of the endpoint. You could use a subscriber resource to point the call directly to a live agent, or you could direct it to an AI agent to handle the call before going to a live agent. You could even dial via video, audio, or both into a conference room with multiple people. You can basically dial any resource that has an address. Swiml is going to act as the dial plan. So it is the instructions the call will perform. And Swiml documents are written in YAML or JSON. If you are looking for video enablement, WebRTC obviously enables real-time peer-to-peer communication directly in web browsers and mobile apps. You're not using plugins, there's no downloads, there's no third-party software. But if you're building something where video is more than just like an add-on and it's something that needs to be fully controlled and integrated, SignalWire offers SignalWire Video is built for that level of depth and control that you're going to need. And if you're planning to incorporate AI into your project, SignalWire's AI agents can be plugged directly into WebRTC video and voice calling. On the back end, SignalWire ingests the video and then audio input. For example, we created Sigmund, which is an example of a browser to AI call. I'm actually going to call Sigmund. This is live, so he usually behaves himself, but sometimes he goes a little off the cuff. So I'm going to give him a call. If you want to give Sigmund a call yourself, we will make sure that the link to Sigmund, who lives on our developer documentation, is in the video description if you're watching this recording, or if you're here live with me, go ahead and check the chat because I'm going to throw that link in there. All right, let's give Sigmund a call.
Hello there, I'm Sigmund, your friendly AI agent powered by SignalWire. We enable developers to create amazing AI voice bots like me that can be deployed over phone lines, voice over IP, and WebRTC. After our call, feel free to press the Discord link at the top of the page and come chat with us. I can play testimonial videos or even tell you what I see if you ask. Plus, you can fork my code and use SignalWire's platform to build a more advanced version of me. By the way, the SignalWire Developers Conference, ClueCon, is coming this August, and a big version of me will be there. You should check out cluecon.com after our call. How can I help you today?
How can someone use WebRTC with SignalWire?
You can use WebRTC with SignalWire by leveraging our programmable unified communications platform, which allows you to create real-time audio and video applications. You can integrate WebRTC into your projects using our SDKs and APIs to build seamless communication experiences. Would you like a more detailed explanation?
No, thank you. If someone wanted to build you, would they use WebRTC for that?
Yes, absolutely. If someone wanted to build an AI agent like me, they could use WebRTC as part of the communication layer to enable real-time audio and video interactions. It's a great way to create engaging experiences. Do you have any other questions about building AI agents or using SignalWire?
So I do want to preface that Sigmund has the ability to tap into your local video feed when permissions are given. So for scenarios like telehealth diagnosis, this is actually
Hey
really
there.
cool.
Just checking in to see if you have any more questions or if there's anything else I can help you with today. Don't hesitate to ask.
Sigmund, can you tell me what the color of my shelves are behind me?
Please wait briefly while I process the data in front of me. The shelves behind you are a deep purple color. That's a cool choice. Is there anything else you'd like to know?
No, thank you. I'll see you later, Sigmund.
You're welcome. It was great chatting with you. Don't forget to check out cluecon.com and come join us this summer. Have a fantastic day, and I'm ending the call now.
Perfect. There we go. So as you can see, this is just an example, and somebody in the chat here did say they're registered for ClueCon, which is awesome. And this Sigmund version of the Sigmund will be there, and they're going to showcase a lot of other things that go along with this Sigmund. So if you have not purchased your ClueCon tickets and August is available on your calendar, feel free to check it out at cluecon.com. All right. All right, so let's talk about where telephony meets the stack. So thanks to SignalWire's own telecom backbone, which is the free switch open source project, telephony is built into our stack instead of being built on top of third-party CPaaS platforms. We achieve lower latency by combining several technical and architectural advantages that are inherent with the implementation of the programmable unified communications model. The entire communication stack as a whole is programmable. It gives you flexibility. It lets you control what it is that you're trying to control. And it's very close to the metal. So it's removing unnecessary middleware and allowing for real-time control. Okay, I love a good diagram. So we're going to treat WebRTC as a fully managed addressable resource within a larger programmable platform. I know I've said that a couple of times, but it's really important to for me to get you guys to understand that these resources are extremely easy to use and you're just pointing the direction of what you want each of your resources to do and where you want to go in the flow of your call. So in this scenario, the signaling server is SignalWire itself. So SignalWire handles signaling natively through Swiml scripts and APIs, which eliminates the need to build and host your own signaling server. Swiml defines call behavior, making the flows programmable without using custom code. SignalWire provides a built-in turn and stun service if you need this option. So naturally, this additional step can add latency to your overall flow, but because you don't need to configure or deploy it separately, SignalWire aids in decreasing the added response time. As far as the media path goes, SignalWire can proxy or anchor media when needed. So for SIP and PSTN interop, AI processing, live transcription, or recording. If the WebRTC connection is direct and doesn't need media services, SignalWire can let peers connect peer-to-peer as long as the conditions allow for it. And in terms of peers, SignalWire peers, subscriber endpoints, those are all WebRTC clients that are registered as addresses. So for example, you would be looking at user123 at myproject.signalwire.com as the address. So you can call between a browser and a SIP phone, mobile app, or an AI agent using the same address space. Devin's going to get into this a little bit more. So the SignalWire edge. It's really important to understand that calls and media streams are routed geographically, and they're optimized through the locations to reduce delay. So by default, we place signaling close to where your users are at. And if you're embedding WebRTC into an app for, say, global users, we can ensure performance isn't region dependent. Many platforms, especially some of these legacy CPaaS, they're bouncing WebRTC audio through multiple stages. So SignalWire avoids this by using a single layer router, so media stays in a direct path, resulting in the avoidance of like relay loops. And those add, 100 milliseconds or more at each hop. Okay, Devin, this is your warning. Before I hand the mic over to Devin, in one of our demo examples today, I just want to go over the flow with you briefly. So the call itself is going to come into SignalWire via the WebRTC connection. If you needed to, which our demo is not going to showcase today, but you could direct it to the turn server, then to SignalWire would act as the turn and the media server. SignalWire is going to digest the incoming call or data, whatever you're sending, and then Swiml is going to act as the dial plan for your call and connect to the customer or the webhook. So a lot of our tools today, you're going to see our call widget, which is built using the browser SDK. You're going to see the use of Swiml. You're going to see the use of the AI agents. And so again, all of the resources you need for these upcoming demos, they're in this, the end of this presentation. So if you've accessed the link, you'll be able to access everything right in there. We'll also email all of it to you. All right, Devin, how do you feel? Are you ready?
Born ready. I was born ready.
All right, let me switch your places.
going on, everyone? Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Chelsea, thank you for getting us started. So yeah, I'm going to be showcasing two technical demos today, utilizing WebRTC and some of the other tools that we discussed, such as Swiml scripts and subscribers. Um, the first demo will be what's called LexiCall. It is essentially a AI agent that will act as a all-knowing librarian who will have the skills to be able to look up your query via Wikipedia or just a general search engine query. The second demo I will be demonstrating is if you were here for the last LiveWire, you might be familiar with the live context transfer. I'll be kind of going over that demo again, but also showcasing a special sauce that I've added to it for controlling your WebRTC call via Swiml scripts. So let me go ahead and share my screen and we could get started. And William, I see your question. We can definitely go above more than 10 participants in the call. I don't have an exact number for you, but we utilize MCU technology for group calls, which will allow us to have more participants in a call. So here's LexiCall. It's a built out librarian website that we have going on. It has a click to call button right here. So when we want to actually talk to Lexi, all we have to do is just click this button. So we're going to go ahead and do that. There we go.
Hello. It seems like you're ready to dive into something. What topic are you interested in exploring today?
Yeah, I'm interested in exploring FreeSwitch. Can you tell me more about FreeSwitch?
Looking that up in the encyclopedia. FreeSwitch is a free and open-source telephony software designed for real-time communication protocols. It supports various media forms, including audio, video, and text. Some of its key applications include WebRTC, Voice over Internet Protocol, VoIP, video transcoding, and
Yeah, thank
multi-point
you for that.
control.
I would actually like to learn more about SignalWire now, but they're not on the Wikipedia. Can you do a web search for that?
SignalWire is a platform that provides APIs for voice, messaging, and video communications. It enables developers to create ultra-low latency, high-reliability communication applications. Some of the key features include 1. Programmable unified communications. SignalWire's platform allows
And then also with WebRTC, since we can tap into the events of the call, we can actually immediately redirect you or pop up a menu upon that event firing over the SDK. So here I had it actually navigate us to a survey that we could take about our experience talking with the AI agent. So that's our first demo. Our second demo is going to be last live wires with the secret sauce that I've added. For again, context, this is going to be context aware call transfers. Essentially, the flow is going to be I'm going to call into a AI agent from a button on my website. The AI agent is then going to verify if I am a member on their platform, which I will not be. It will then take me through the flow of becoming a member. And then after I become a member, I will now be able to talk about what my issue is to the AI agent. And when I tell it my issue, it will create a summary, which it will then transfer me to the support agent. And when the support agent gets the call, they will be able to see the context of the call in front of them before they even answer it. So let's see how that looks like in play. But before we do that, we also need to create a subscriber. And to answer, I believe it was David's question earlier about dialing directly from browser to browser using WebRTC, this is where subscribers is really powerful because I can create a user within the SignalWire platform, and they can now become a resource address that's now where you can dial to directly. So we can actually do a straight subscriber to subscriber dial-in without hitting any programmable in between if we wanted to do that. So let's go ahead and create our subscriber. My name is Devin. We're going to have the very secure password of 1234567 and then we're going to go ahead and log in. Cool. And now at this point, our subscriber is ready to take a call. So we're going to go online and he's ready. So now going back to the person who's visiting your site and wants to call into you, we're now going to click the call now button.
Hello, I'm William, your friendly receptionist here at SignalWire. Before I can assist you, I need a valid member ID. Could you please provide that for me?
I'm actually not a member right now.
Thank you for letting me know. Since you're not a member, would you like to become one? I can help you with
I
that.
would love to become a member.
Great, I will send you a form now to fill out to become a member. Please hold on for just a moment while I take care of that. I have sent the form to you. Please fill it out, and I will be on hold until you're finished. Just let me know when you're ready to continue. I will be on hold while you fill out the form. Just let me know when you're ready to continue. Welcome, Devin. Thank you for your patience. I see that your membership has been created successfully. Now, how can I assist you today?
Yeah, I was looking to get in contact with support. I'm actually getting a 500 error when I'm trying to sign into my account, and it was working just yesterday, so I would like assistance with this.
Thank you for the information. Devin, just to confirm, you're experiencing a 500 error when trying to sign in, and it was working fine yesterday. Is there anything else you'd like to add about the issue?
No, that should be all.
Thank you for that, Devin. I will now create a detailed report of your issue and transfer your information to the support team for further assistance. Please hold on for just a moment.
Sending the user info to the client. The name collected is Devin White.
Hello? Testing. There we go. And that's our demo. Those are our 2 demos, actually. So I would love to answer any questions that you guys might have about this.
Thank you, Devin. Now, if you do have some questions for myself, Devin, the universe in general, if you can pop them in the chat, feel free to unmute yourself.
I'll unmute myself again. This is David. I'm the guy that asked the dumb questions, or just the dumb guy. But
Yes.
so I like that kind of whisper tone. So I'm guessing we can put whatever prompt we want to pass whatever we need to I guess that person that would be answering that call or picking up that call.
Yeah, you could absolutely do that. There's something called confirm on Swiml Connect, and upon your call initially connecting, it will run that confirm URL. So you could have like a play like you're receiving a call from XYZ, and the agent on the other end will hear that before those 2 calls are bridged together.
Okay. Is it also possible to, I guess, provide options? So, like, for example, it plays that whisper tone and it says, press 1 to connect or 2 to send a voicemail or, reroute elsewhere.
That's a good question. Confirm could take most Swiml methods. I would have to review which ones it can take. But I do believe that is possible.
Okay.
That's a good question.
I'm guessing what you showed us today, you'll provide a little bit of a, I guess is there some like sample code or something that we can play with a little bit for our own purposes?
I have a Replit link, which I will put in right now into the chat for the second demo, and I believe the first demo will be on GitHub shortly.
Okay.
Demo, yeah.
And And since Chelsea and Brian probably didn't warn you that I asked, like I said, all the hard questions, if you know, if we wanted to do real-time transcription to actually show up on that, call it the second agent screen it was talking, is that something that I guess we can use that live transcribe to push out to,
Yeah.
or?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Sean is highlighted. Sean, do you want me to read your question from the chat, or do you want to unmute?
Yeah, no, I'll mute. Appreciate it. Love this technology. How many different providers do we have to choose from when it comes to text to speech, speech to text, and maybe some LLMs?
So definitely a lot of TTS and SST providers. As in terms of LLMs, we provide 3 different models that are all open API. We can actually get you the documentation here in a second. Let me find that for you.
Have you found ChatGPT 4 Mini is probably meets most needs, good cost?
Yeah, we support 4.0 mini, 4.1 mini, and 4.1 nano.
Nano is really fast. We also support a thinking mode where it gets 2 turns with the LLM to formulate a strategy to answer the question better.
Oh, cool. So like a 2-shot.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Yep. And then if we want to develop our own RAG where it has some private data, would that just be another tool, internal, or what?
We actually have that. Yeah. We have a tool called DataSphere that is a RAG system built into our API that you can use directly.
Yeah, we didn't go over it today, but we definitely have done it's called DataSphere API. We can get the video for you as a resource as well, but we have done a past webinar that went over DataSphere, so we can get that info to you.
Okay. And then I haven't really implemented many of these, but there's a lot of these all-in-one platforms like AirCall or things like that. I mean, are we in the long run just really building something to replace them and saving a lot of money? Is that what we're kind of doing, and have a lot more tools at our disposal?
It's tighter integration, yes. We've taken care of all of the logistics of the speech to text, text to speech LLM loop. So you only have to focus on what you want the agent to perform. So you just have to worry about that task and not the orchestration. We've done all of that for you. All the debugging, function calling, all of the information that you would need after the fact. We have a really large blob of data after the fact that is the entire chat log, every function it called, everything that went in and out of the speech to text, text to speech, and LLM responses. So you have like a complete postmortem of every single thing that went on that call. It's very handy for things like debugging why the agent did a certain thing. And it allows you to really like insightfulness of how to tweak and tune and get your agent on point. Because as we know, you could have an agent that 99 out of 100 times does exactly what you want, but one time it's probable. I mean, we're dealing with probabilities here. So it's like when we first started, we did a pizza shop, and 1 out of 100 calls that would just go, "We don't have pizza." Even but we've actually, all of our demos that are coming out now are going to be on top of our new Python SDK that really helps design and build and make sure that your agent is on point and handles all of the the functions, and it even has its own onboard RAG stack outside of our data sphere that allows you to do stuff on it as well, and that's coming out on the 24th.
So more guardrails to prevent that.
Yeah, exactly. We've come up with a way, because one of the things we see is people shoot from the hip when prompting. That's great if you're hallucinating everything, but when you want it to do an actual agentic task, you kind of have to think about it. So we come up with what's called the prompt object model, which is integrated in. It's available in Python already, but it's in our new SDK that's coming out on the 24th. We have documentation on the developer site that allows you to group things together a lot easier, programmatically define your prompt, and it seems we consume that, and it's just better. It makes you prompt correctly.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
For those who have not met Brian West, he has graced us with his presence. He's our resident AI expert, our director of support engineering at SignalWire. If you have joined any of our webinars or office hours, whether it be SignalWire, FreeSwitch, he is the man.
Also, I run the Hangout on Fridays as well, and that's just like an open time for anybody to come in. We talk, we go over things. David comes in pretty much every week for some guidance and assistance, and we work with him and as well with many other customers that come in. And we'll do things like live, just discuss options, and we'll just live code something right there on the Hangout and let you watch while we do it.
Yeah, I can't say enough good things about Brian. I know this isn't the Let's Toast Brian and praise him, but for all things SignalWire, he's a great resource. I know that we talk about all the AI options in the world, but nothing can replace Brian West. So feel free to bother him. He's really good. He'll even hand you out his cell phone number. I won't give that out, but if he does, I'll let him do that. But he's very accessible and very helpful at tracking down odd things within the SignalWire world. So thank you, Brian.
You're welcome. Thank you for the praise.
And the rest of the team is great too. And I'm not a paid shill. I pay a lot of money to them every month, and I hope to have to pay them even more.
It's our hope as well. We'll get more products and services that you'll be able to consume and build on, and it will be an exciting adventure.
Yes.
I know Sean was asking a question, but I do have a legitimate question that I do want to ask the team quickly if I have a moment.
Of course.
I know all of us are talking about ChatGPT and how wonderful it is, and we're reliant on some of these great AI models, and then we all deal with the issue that we dealt with the day ago, which is we rely on this and then it's not there or it's down, and I hope that that's a few and far between. But can somebody from the SignalWire team maybe spend a moment, or we can talk about it on Friday, just when we have those outages, do we have fallbacks, even if they're not as good as our primary, but just so something is there? Because I know with my platform, I end up with obviously not happy customers. And I understand you guys don't have full control over everything behind you guys, but is there some kind of backup or something that we can be tracking for in a better way?
We do, and the discussion came out of the incident yesterday about we need faster response times. We do fall back to Azure. Cat on the front porch of the dog's going crazy. But we fall back to Azure OpenAI, same models, but they run in Azure. So that is our fallback currently. It is currently not an automated process, but it may be sometime in the near future based on what happened yesterday.
Okay. That's helpful to know.
We had a discussion about falling back to it after so many errors, because what was worse about yesterday's issue was not all the models were impacted. So like 4.1 wasn't, and since we don't default to 4.1, most people, like for example, Sigman was using 4.1 and he was working fine, but 4.0 mini and 4.1 nano were both on and off all day.
So Brian, why we have you here, when you are working, whether that's with AI or if you're trying to do browser to SIP or any other connection, are you seeing any sort of advantages or disadvantages? Maybe it's all the same when you're setting up an app or a connection, WebRTC versus SIP versus PSTN. Is AI working better with one than the other?
There is an aspect of delay added when using a cell phone that's not there when using WebRTC, and that's completely outside of our control, because that's what's added through like the 3GPP specifications and standards. Usually, like for example, you could be standing in the same room on the same cell carrier, call each other, and there will be delay. Very noticeable. You would never notice it unless you're standing in the same room. So it's anywhere from 500 milliseconds to 1,000 milliseconds that's added just on that alone. Plus, humans don't communicate like that. Humans are very sloppy in how they communicate. So our AI agent can actually accommodate that. We have a feature called Transparent Barge, where if you keep barging the LLM, it'll remove the last thing it was going to say and roll up everything you've said every time you've barged it into one thing, and get a more pertinent answer to your question. There is actually 2 logs available after the call. One is the raw call log or the chat log, and the one that was actually processed. So you get to see before and after all of that stuff as well in the post-prompt data that we give you.
And latency always seems to be a really big question. Like, it's always, how do I make it better? How do I make it, how do I adjust it? How do I ensure it is natural? So that's the great thing about the way that SignalWire is set up. It's a complete stack when it comes to all of the things like transcription, the text to speech, all of that's there and rolled into one place. You don't have to continue adding vendors every time you want this feature within your project. And though latency is hard to measure and compare, like Brian just said, it is great because we know we can reduce some of that latency because it's all already built in. Like, you're not going outside to add XYZ.
Mm-hmm. And that is actually improved over the last year. The other thing, latency is probably the wrong word because they mean different things in different spaces. But we have a lot of tactics that help with that particular component, such as fillers. For example, you can define overall function fillers or just speech fillers, where like when it goes to call a function, it could use one of the fillers either at the function level or the global level, like, let me look that up for you. And as it's saying, let me look that up for you, asynchronously, we're calling the API, the swag function, to get the data. So by the time the filler's done, we can just roll right into providing the data. Additionally, you could also use sound files. For example, we have a Flows Flower example where it takes 10 seconds for the OpenAI function to return an image for the flowers it's generating. So I play a sound file that sounds like somebody's boxing up something and taping a box shut. And it's it's rustling around. And when it's done, it's like, oh, your message has been sent. So there's things like that. You can also put the person on hold and play hold music while it's processing. If you have a function that takes a while, you can purposely do that. And
to those points, you might have actually saw some of that get applied today with LexiCall using a filler when looking something up on Wikipedia, or when I was filling out the form on the second demo, it put the AI on hold and played some music while you were filling out the form.
It seems we've worked through a lot of the questions here in the chat. Just for recording purposes, we had a question of, can we use different text-to-speech services like 11? Yes.
Yes, we have a pretty extensive documentation on that. I put the link in the chat. One that's not linked from the right-hand side of that, and we probably will fix after this call, is Rhyme is not listed. We just recently added it. It's the first that has its own dedicated landing page. And I think we're going to go, it's under there on the left, but not on the right of that page. So just make sure to highlight it there.
While we're on that topic, I'm in the AI agents area of SignalWire, and I see, how to configure it a little bit under voice. But how come I can't choose my LLM on my SST and TTS there?
You can. It's right. Let me send you right to the link.
Okay. I see everything's.
It's under params.
It's
under the params under Swiml. I'm putting it in chat right now.
Okay.
It's AI_model is the param, and it gives you the 3 you can choose from there.
Okay.
You can also have the agent acknowledge when somebody interrupts them too many times. For example, like, hey, I need to finish talking. You also have the capability of doing a intro or greeting that's non-bargeable. So if you want to have the agent do a specific greeting, like this call may be recorded for quality and training purposes, because you can't trust the LLM to do that on 100% of the calls either. So
yeah, some of the ones you can't barge. A lot of the turnkey ones you can't barge, and then for initial greeting.
Yeah, so we allow barging by default on everything. It's very intuitive, and then there's all the tuning there as well.
Okay. What would be not available through the call flow builder?
Well, this is kind of its own thing outside of the call flow builder.
Okay.
You can either choose to use the UI to create an AI resource, or you can build it with a new SDK that's coming on the 24th. Depends on how deep you want to get the integration. I'm always on the side of, I like the deeper integration where I instrument the thing in my code so that I can interface easier with other systems. But we have people that use it from our UI and just instrument their functions outside of our UI using the function tab to define them. And I actually do have some Python modules published to help you do function includes from our UI as well. So you can.
When you say UI, you mean flow builder?
It's on the left under my resources.
There's a AI agent UI resources as well. That's
yeah,
the resource he's talking about.
It's under my resources, create a resource and select AI agent.
Okay.
And for those not familiar with Call Flow Builder, it's a like a drag and drop tool that's built within the customer or within the SignalWire spaces. So if you haven't created a space yet, you can go in signalwire.com, sign up for free. Within the navigation on the left-hand side, you'll see Call Flow Builder in the menu, and you can play around and create extremely like simple, fast, right within there's nodes. So if you want to drag in an AI agent, if you've created one of those, and you can choose it from a drop-down menu. So when the call is answered, you can then immediately direct it to a recording that says this recording is being, or this call is being recorded for quality assurance purposes. Then it will connect to the AI agent over voice. The AI agent will take over. It's an easy way to script your call flows. And then under the hood, it's creating Swiml. Just for context. If you haven't played around with it, it is pretty cool. I am not a developer by nature. So if I can do it, I believe anybody can do it.
Then power users would then use the execute Swiml to do a lot of external functions, things like that.
Yes.
That he was talking about. Okay.
Yep. There's a lot of, and Brian's camera is following him around. We've got just under 10 minutes. If there's any other lingering questions, if you find tomorrow you wake up and you have a bunch of questions after thinking about it and processing today's webinar, you can always reach out to us on Discord, any of our community channels. You can also email support@signalwire.com with any questions. You can also open a support ticket within the SignalWire account as well.